Hello and welcome back. This is JR here. First of all, I wanted to go ahead and thank everyone for all the support. I don't know if some of you might not know, but I reached 1K subs recently. Very, very happy about that. Thank you guys. I really never thought I would get to that point, so pretty cool. Anywho, going forward with the channel, obviously still more Eidolon videos to come. I'm still working on some viewer requested topics. I will also probably be later on down the line doing another sampling series, but most likely kind of late into World 5, so don't expect that anytime soon. There's plenty of resources, and the sampling series I did for World 4 pretty much is the same, just add in World 5 bonuses. So, what else we got on the agenda? Um, might also do some videos of other games I play in a more casual style on the side. They'll just be like additional content, but I don't know. It depends. But that won't interrupt me making Eidolon videos. So, the next stuff I'm planning on doing, I got a request for Maestro damage pushing again, updated for World 5. That seems to be a pretty common user request, so I've been mulling over how to work on that. But yeah, so more videos to come. Again, huge thanks to everyone. The 1K subs is really cool. I'm gonna put the I don't think it'll really change much because I'm pretty sure YouTube was already just showing ads on my channel before. So I don't think from a user side that will change anything. So hopefully it doesn't get in the way. Anywho, the video topic for today is active Bubo guide. So what I'm going to be talking about today is when and where to use abilities to maximize the number of kills you can get active. Um, Sometimes you'll be using spear, sometimes you'll be using wand. When and why I use certain things in my talent bar in what order. So we're going to go over that today. Let's get into it. So first off, why Bubonic Conjurer? Bubonic Conjurer is the strongest class in the game at the moment for active farming. They kill more mobs per hour than any other class. Pretty much not even close. Like, gosh, I don't even know what rates are for World 5, but World 4, they were killing like 30 something K an hour, compared to like, I don't know, Hunter or Beastmaster was probably getting like 10K kills an hour. So it's just a really, really insane disparity, which is fine. It's fine to let Bubonic Conjure be the best character for active farming right now. Throughout the game's history, there have been different metas. Early on, it was Hunter. Then we had the Maestro meta in World 3, and Bubonic Conjure in late World 4, World 5. So it's fine. We'll see if it's always going to be that way. But yeah, so what abilities do we want to have on the bar? This isn't so much a talent build guide as if you're getting to World 5, it should be kind of self-explanatory what you want on your bar. You know, you want your damaging talents, you want main stats, etc. Any damaging talents. Um, you'll see how I have these leveled. They don't need to be. I just don't have any points to put. I don't have any reason not to have them leveled. But yeah. Main. So there are two main types of builds that you'll want to focus on, and both of them will revolve around if you do or don't have the Fury Relic. Specifically, Ancient for Shaman. Um, all of it revolves around Tentacle. If you have Tentacle at level or below level 200, your bread and butter is probably going to be focusing on poison damage because it'll have a higher uptime more consistently for killing mobs on the map. It's going to be slower overall than optimal builds later, but once you get the Fury Relic, you can and you can get this level 200. You get this to go by 3 seconds per kill on cooldowns. That opens up the door to focusing more towards an aura build because Aura ticks faster than poison does. Poison is a pretty slow kill in all things considered. So um, let's go ahead and go here. If I just equip a canister, go down here. From the moment that this gets poisoned, there. So basically, when you like load into a map, there's like an internal timer uh, between poison ticks. Like when the cloud spawns and everything, it sets like its own internal timer. So you see how that was poisoned far longer than that one is. It just takes forever for poison to kill compared to Aura. Watch this. Boom, dead immediately. You see how that one takes way longer. That one dies almost instantly, whereas the left side one dies far slower. See, they spawn and are instantly dead, even when the poison tick is almost about to happen. So when you get the Fury Relic and you can get Aura to be 7 Aura wide, and you get your tentacle up to level 200, you open the door to being able to go for some crazy builds like this. So you'll see I have only 4 talents on the bar, and there's a reason for that. So let's get this going, and then while that's warming up, we'll go ahead and put this talent on the bar to give a display of how often that talent gets casted. So when this gets really, actually, we'll leave the wand on for now. So you'll notice how my character is just standing still and he's not spreading aura anywhere. That's because my wand actually has too much range. I have a lot of attack speed, so it's not too bad. But you'll see how the die skill never gets cast because my previous skills are being reset so quickly. And right there, it casted that one, but it delayed my aura by a couple ticks. Now you see this is getting going, but you see how my character is still just standing in the middle of this platform. So this aura is only killing the ones right underneath by the rope, whereas the ones on the sides are still getting killed by poison. So that's not very efficient. So let's go ahead and pause this for a little bit. Go ahead and reset the screen. Okay, so that's not very efficient. We want our character moving around, running around, and killing them that way. So let's go ahead and equip the spear. And the reason we equip the spear is because we want aura casted. One of the requirements to cast aura is the mob must be near you to cast it. So my character is now going to run at these mobs into melee range and then cast aura. This is going to get far more coverage of the aura skill. Now you may be wondering why not raise dead first. The reasoning for this, at least my reasoning for this, is you see right there, it's casting Raise Dead over Aura. Aura only casts if you have mobs in melee range. So and if you have mobs in melee range, you're wanting to kill them. You basically want another Aura down to kill them fast. The whole point of this build is to take advantage of the fact that Aura ticks so quickly. So yes, some mobs up top could be getting killed by poison, and you'll Raise Dead those ones. But and then they'll die and then they'll reset your raise dead, but you're not killing as fast as Aura can. Aura will only cast if there are mobs available to kill. So here you see it's just casting Aura again and again and again. And it's clearing that platform so quickly. Now it's not much worse if you put raise dead first. So let's go ahead and put raise dead first. Now here, the problem with doing this is you're actually killing mobs so quickly that you're not really going to cast auras as often with this build. If you have it in this order, you'll see how my character is just standing there instead of casting aura. So those mobs are again dying to poison, and the poison is resetting Raise Dead, but it's not killing them as fast as it can. That's the reasoning behind putting Raise Dead here. It that doesn't mean that it's always correct, however. So basically, the reason why is because I want auras on multiple platforms right now. I don't want it on just that one platform. You see how it's just not casting aura; it's casting raised ed too quickly. And you might think that's good, but look at the ones on the bottom. They're not dying nearly as fast as they could be if there were auras down there. So that's the reason I put um, aura first, because it's only going to cast anyway if there are mobs to kill with it. And now you can see it's just going to speed up tremendously. Because now the bottom is burning, the top is burning, the side is burning. And when that's all happening, it's just going to spam raise dead anyway. You might get a slight loss of efficiency with this build because crystals will cause you to cast auras multiple times. But overall, this is, I think, much better. And after doing some cranium testing, basically utilizing cranium cooking to see how many kills I'm getting in a certain time frame, this was giving me better results. So that is my reasoning for that. I saw a lot of misinformation going around. Also, take note of the fact that we have had the dice on the bar the entire time, and it has not casted pretty much at all. So putting canisters on the bar is not necessary, as you see the ghosts are doing plenty of job to kill. And the any more skills on the bar would only delay your auras and your raised eds. So it's not worth putting anything else on the bar here, in my opinion. All you're doing is just slowing your kills per hour. That said, so you see there's poison clouds around. Those poison clouds take the damage of chemical warfare. So if you have no points in chemical warfare, those poison clouds that these summon don't do anything. So take that of note. This skill uses this skill's damage value. So you have to have points in that. But now you'll see this is what I think is by far the most efficient build to run on in World 5. And I think this is the best map to be killing in World 5 as far as active Bubo is concerned. That said, let's go to some fringe cases. But one last caveat is the other upside of the Aura build, once you get to that point, is the fact that you don't have to rely on poison damage. Now, the poison damage is extremely low, 14% damage as compared to. I know Aura says 703 damage. That's not actually 703 damage. I think that's 703 damage a second, and Aura ticks more than once per second. I believe that's what it is. As far as true damage goes, I think it's like a third of this per tick, but I'm not 100% sure. I haven't looked at that in a while, so. But yeah, this is basically what I think is the most efficient build for here. However, there are cases where you want raised ed forward first. So let's go ahead and go to OJ Bay. This is a pretty interesting map. So OJ Bay is a long, flat map, pretty compact. You'll see here what's going to happen when we get this going. So here I'm casting auras, but my aura is already pretty wide that it's just covering the entire field. So I'm actually delaying my raised eds a little bit. You see it's still prioritizing the raised ed because the monsters are dying so quickly, but these crystal mobs are going to delay the raised eds where I could be raising. So because of that, let's go ahead and put raised ed first. Now you'll see we put the aura down and raised ed just every tick summons the mobs back. And this is actually fairly strong. I do believe this is the better version of this build for long, long one platforms with like all the mobs on it, because you need less aura coverage. The one aura or like two auras, three auras is more than enough to cover this entire map. You're still gonna want the spear though, because you'll just stand in place if you don't have it. In general, actually, I just believe the spear is superior. The only times where you could put the wand on is if you're lacking damage, basically, or if you're below 200 tentacle and you're still using poison-based builds. If you're using poison-based builds, the damage is actually relevant, and I think it's actually fine to have it on. So, but as you can see, the raised dead here is giving me better results. As far as my testing has gone, raised dead was giving me better results on this type of map. So that gives you a little bit of an idea. Let's just go, I don't know, random map. The Great Molehill. This is a pretty interesting map. So for this type of map, because there's a ton. Okay, I don't want to do that. this type of map, there's a ton of platforms you can see. So generally, I think Aura first would be better. Uh, However, this map is also fairly bad at like you'll see have a lot of downtime currently, so you could actually toss on chemical warfare and put Aura first and see what kind of results that gives us. So so I think this type of build would give you the best results on this map. But my reasoning for it is because there are so many small platforms. Again, look how overkill that aura is. It's pretty it's too much. It's not going to cast very often, so a lot of your uptime is going to be on raised dead. You're just going to be casting a one aura, moving to the next platform, one aura, and then when you do that for most of the platforms, you'll just be spamming raised dead in place. You're going to have a lot of uptime for ghosts and chemical warfare, and I think that because chemical warfare is more reliably hitting these upper platforms, I think that's best. I mean, you can notice it. It's actually casting chemical warfare because you're killing slow enough. So hopefully that gives the thought process of between the different builds or why you would use a certain build where. Um, so hopefully that was helpful, and you can see just how just like slight changes to your build, your talent order, and such just gives you a drastically better experience. So I just want to do one last thing before we end off. Let's go ahead and do a cranium test. There we go. Now we can just leave this and see what we get. It's not going to be as good as if I had already had the map dying, but using cranium cooking is how I test my different builds out, and just watching the character is like basically like the castaway on the different skills and such. Um, you just get a feel for what is good when. So but hopefully that reasoning, that process of reasoning why I'm doing those things is helpful for some people, because I do see like a lot of misconceptions going around the main Discord about what the best build is and whatnot, and hopefully that clears up a little bit of why I was doing certain things. And I mean, the cranium cooking progress pop-ups at the end. I mean, think my highest was like 230k, so it really shows. I think the results are pretty good. So, alrighty, well, I'll let this run. That would be basically the video. As this is going, I'll probably do like an outro of sorts. There wasn't too much else I wanted to talk on here. Oh, one last thing, teleport. As far as teleport goes, so earlier in World 4, I was using teleport when I was on sticks and such. Basically, teleport used to be pretty good with the spear, but again, I showed how any more abilities on the bar right now, they just don't cast quick enough, and teleport in particular really loves casting itself at dumb moments. With how fast we're killing and resetting abilities here, I do not think teleport is worthwhile. I think it just leads you to more awkward times than anything. So that said, because the new move speed cap is 350, I highly suggest getting to 350 move speed or as close as you can to spread aura as fast as possible. Because without teleport, it is a little bit harder. But I just think teleport isn't worthwhile now. Um, but yeah, that was the last thing I wanted to cover. Like I said, next video probably going to be Maestro damage pushing for World 5 updated. Uh, um, Spoiler alert: a lot of it's going to have to do with like artifacts and damage bubbles, but the majority majority of the old stuff is basically the same. Green stacks, such. After that, I had a couple requests that I don't think would be worth an entire video. Honestly, this one wasn't really either, but I wanted to make it a little bit longer because of the 1K special or 1K subs. I actually might do a 1K special. I just haven't thought of anything. So if anyone has any suggestions in the comments below. Let me know. I will be reading them as always. Could always do. I I don't know what everyone would want to see. Most of my videos tend to just be informative. I could do some fun stuff in YouTube format. Usually I was just doing that on Twitch, but I haven't been streaming as much lately. Just not a lot of time, honestly. Um, but yeah, that would basically everything I wanted to cover. I'm just killing time until this cranium cooking ends, so the lovely viewers at home can see what the numbers are. But yeah, hopefully this video was informative. The like I said, next ones to come should be pretty good. Um, and yeah, as always, let me know if you have anything you want to see. I might just do a video dedicated to smaller requests, like things that I can cover in minutes, like a minute or two. Or I could also do a Q&A of sorts. But yeah, there we go, 205K. So thanks everyone for watching. Have a good one.